Hey guys, welcome to this session by Great Learning. My name is Anirudh Rao and I welcome you all to this session on how you guys can work towards landing your first job in the domain of data science. Now, data science is such a vast domain. It's so huge that you definitely might not know how is the best way you guys can go about, landing your first job, especially, right? That's a very important thing. It's a critical thing. So make sure you guys follow along with the session. Let's keep this session highly interactive, highly energetic as always. So I welcome you all from wherever you guys are tuning in from. It's a beautiful evening here in Bengaluru. But then guys, before we go ahead and begin with this session, I want you guys to head to the chat box and just type in a quick yes or no, right? Just type in a quick yes if you can hear me fine, if you can see my screen fine, and of course if everything is working fine on your end as well, guys. So head to the chat box and just type in a quick yes or no, right? And upon your confirmation, we can go on to begin with the session. Now guys, an important thing I want to talk to you about here is that I want all of you all to head to the comment section and put your questions down regardless of how simple it is. Let us have a highly interactive session. As I just mentioned, I'm monitoring all of your questions that you put down using my mobile phone, so I'll be answering all the comments, that all the questions that you guys will be putting down in the chat box, right? Perfect. So guys, quickly head to the comment section and just put down your confirmation. Okay, perfect. Now, while I say that, I do have a confirmation from Navesh Patan, so I hope everything is okay from your side, right? Perfect, guys. We can go on to begin with the session. But then, before we actually go on to take a look at the agenda for today's session, I want to take a minute of your time to guide you about this wonderful venture we have here at Great Learning called as Great Learning Academy. Now, Great Learning Academy, regardless of where you are in your career right now, you're in school, you're in college, you're about to graduate, you just graduated, or you're looking for a career switch or a job change as well. We have something here at Great Learning Academy. I promise you that, right? Now, we have 1 million plus learners who join in from 140 different countries, who watch 1,000 plus hours of free learning content that we have here on Great Learning Academy. Now, we have multiple programs here. For example, Career Plus is a fantastic program, and this is something for you guys as freshers. I highly suggest all of you all join this for free. So if you guys are either 2020 or 2021 graduates, this is a program that you guys definitely should check out. And again, as you can see on your screen, it is free, right? Then we do have some career transformation programs here. These are amazing programs. We're going to talk about it at the end of this session, right? And now, since we're talking about data science, we're talking about AI, machine learning, AI, all of this usually comes under the domain of data science itself. But to specifically talk about the career paths that a data scientist can take, as you can see on your screen, there's four different paths: data analyst, business analyst, data engineer, and data scientist, right? So let me just click on one. Let me click on the data scientist tab here. As you can see, we have almost 100,000 job openings right now in India, and the average salary is somewhere around 7 lakhs per annum. And guess what? We have almost 5 lakh learners who are enrolled into these courses, right? You can see these programs are job ready. You get amazing placement assistance, personalized mentorship, you get universities from top, you get certificates from top universities, and of course at the same time you get to learn from some of the world's best faculties out there, right? So, but then before you go on to head into the specialization part, I highly suggest you guys get started with some of the free courses that we have for you. As you can see on your screen, we have ample number of free courses here. For example, Data Science Foundations is usually one of the most amazing free course that we have, where you guys can get started with the domain itself. So as you can see, you just have to click enroll learning here. Now I'm already enrolled into it. We are a part of creating these programs, so you can find out details about the courses, all the skills that are covered, the entire syllabus, and of course even though all these courses are absolutely free of cost, you guys get a certificate of completion. That's the huge advantage of being a part of Great Learning Academy, right? So you can put this resume on your LinkedIn, on your resume. It's going to add so much more value, and of course the knowledge that you take away from the course itself, right? So knowledge plus the certificate of completion is the best of both worlds, and you get this for free. And it's not just this course. As you saw in the career path, you have multiple courses here that you guys can get started to work on your ways to becoming data scientists, right? So guys, perfect. Make sure you guys are checking out Great Learning Academy. We have multiple courses here taught by subject matter experts in multiple different languages as well. Now, as you can see, these are some of the details of the live sessions. If you click on view all live sessions, you can take a look at all the live sessions we have planned for you guys this week, and this is the session that you guys have tuned into right now, right? My session. Perfect. Now guys, there's many ways you guys can go on to reach Great Learning, Great Learning Academy. First of all, you can the easiest way is to get through to the website greatlearning.in/academy. But of course, if you guys love tuning in from your mobile phones, I know you guys are really excited and tune in from your mobile phones, so make sure you guys are downloading the Great Learning app. It's available both on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store as well, so make sure you guys are doing this. Make sure you guys check out Great Learning Academy. As I said at the start of this particular session, no matter where you are in your career right now, Great Learning Academy definitely has something for all of you all out there. So use this opportunity to upskill yourself, have certificate of completion, and of course with almost we provide over 200 plus free courses out here, right? So there's definitely room for improvement where you can learn new things, innovate, and create fascinating applications, right? Perfect, guys. Now, guys, as I told you, I want this interaction, I want the session to be highly interactive. So I want to ask you these questions. Have you guys enrolled yourself into Great Learning Academy, yet? Just head to the comment section. Just type in a quick yes or a no. If your answer is no, don't worry. Just create a simple account on Great Learning. It's very simple, and make sure you guys get started. Right? Perfect. And guys, before we go ahead and check out the agenda for this session, make sure you guys are subscribing to the Great Learning YouTube channel and hit that bell icon while you subscribe, because as you hit the bell icon, every time we go on to put a video, as soon as we put out the video, you will be the first person to get notified of that. How amazing is that, right? Perfect, guys. On that note, welcome to this session from wherever you guys are tuning in from. Let us get started with the agenda of this session, right? So here are the session takeaways. Now, it becomes very important for all of you all to understand a lot of things about data science. Now, we're going to have this session in a way where we're going to break it down into the most simplest concepts so that all of you all who are tuning in can understand everything, right? So regardless of you guys being absolute beginners, regardless of you being an intermediate learner who's also looking for your first job, this is catered to a wide variety of audience. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the agenda of the session, right? So first of all, we'll begin by taking a quick look at what data science is. So we'll have a quick introduction. I'll give you 2 or 3 applications and fascinating examples which you guys might have already used, and you might not know that you're using data science in the process. After that, we'll actually talk about a step-by-step guide where I can help you, give you my thoughts, talk to you about the industry, where whatever is required to make sure you get your first you land your first data science job. After that, I'll give you some very, very, very important tips of how you guys should be writing your first resume as well, so make sure you stick around for that. And at the end of the session, we're going to be talking about how you guys can go about working your way from being a beginner all the way to being a thorough expert in the domain of data science, right? So we're going to be talking about specializations. We're going to be talking about how these specializations are going to add a ton of value to your learning and to your career as well, right? Perfect. So guys, I hope the agenda is clear for all of you all, right? So Har Vishwas Sinha says, as mechanical engineer, is it useful? Well, Har Vishwas, well, if you are definitely interested in the domain of data science, yes, it would definitely be fascinating. We are not going to be talking anything in terms of super technical concepts, so you definitely can follow along if you are interested in the career in data science. And I suggest you stick till the end of the video to understand this, because data science is one among the top 10 trending domains, and a data scientist role is one among the top 10 best careers to have ever right now. So it's definitely an advantage, right? Perfect. So Navich Patan says, Great Learning is one of the best academy for students, just in love with Great Learning. Well, Navich, thank you so much for those kind words. It means a lot to us. I hope you have subscribed to the Great Learning YouTube channel, and that you tune into all these sessions, right? Thank you so much for your kind words again. Okay, perfect. So you say that you have completed more than 5 courses. So I hope with your learning journey here at Great Learning and Great Learning Academy have been great, and we're looking forward to you enrolling into more courses and learning more via YouTube channel, and of course all the other sources as well, right? Perfect, guys. Now, to quickly talk about the first point on the agenda here, it's an important thing, right? So let's take a look at understanding what data science is. Let's take a quick approach into understanding the domain practically, right? Now, of course, you can talk about definitions, you can talk about all the complex fancy stuff, but if you're a person who's definitely looking for your first job, it becomes really really important that you at least have a very good understanding of what the domain is, what it's meant to do, and all of those details, right? So let's take a practical approach to understand that data science is having a huge impact on our lives today. Well, here's a scenario that I want to talk to you about to explain what data science is. Let's just say you and your maybe you have 10 or other 15 other friends. You guys have just planned to go on a vacation. It might be a place like Himachal Pradesh, it might be Goa, it might be anywhere that you want. You guys have planned a vacation. You guys go on your vacation. It can be 3-4 days, 5 days, whatever it is. Now during this vacation, I am sure you guys will click a ton of pictures, right? Of course, it's all of us. So whenever we go on we go on a vacation, we tend to click a lot of pictures. At least I do. So it might be selfies, it might be groupies, whatever it is, right? Now at the end of the day, if you do click a lot of pictures, there's a good chance you might upload it to social media, like Facebook, Instagram, or whatever it is. And you might have already observed this. When you upload pictures to Facebook, and it sees there's more than one person in the image, or it sees there's someone else as well, and if that person is on your friend list, it will automatically tag that person for you, right? So you don't have to manually sit and tag everyone in the photo. And I'm just talking about one photo where there are 15 people. Now imagine if there are at least 10 pictures, right? I mean, come on, 5-day vacations, you at least click 10 pictures, right? Now if you have to tag you have to tag manually 150 times, it's a task. But at the end of the day, Facebook does this automatically for you. It knows who the person is. It automatically finds the face, matches it, tags it, and asks for your approval. How amazing is this, right? Now this is actually possible through the entire concept of data science and machine learning itself. The concept of face recognition, the concept of actually having data science to power the world of face recognition itself. So this kind of a convenience is being added into our lives in many many ways, and this is something which will go unnoticed. And I think at the end of the day, it is so beautiful to see the applications of data science that are everywhere around us, and it's amazing that way, right? Now an important thing I want to talk to you about data science here is, right, so coming to the definition of it. As you can see from these applications, first of all, it's amazing, it's there everywhere. But in its most raw form, data science is basically a study of data, right, as the name itself suggests. But what are we doing here? So we're taking in raw data and we're converting it into useful information, which we are going to use to gain insights about the data. Think about data like a box full of treasure, right? So if you just look at it, you might not be able to find anything. But if you break open the box and if you start digging in, hunting things inside, you might find so many things, right? So as in those pirate movies, you find gold, you find treasures and whatnot, right? Similarly here as well, no matter how obscure the data might seem, there is a very good chance if you perform some analysis on it, it will give you hidden insights which wouldn't have been possible to just take a look through the naked eye, right? That's an important concept of data science. Great. Now we checked out one simple application of how Facebook does tagging automatically for you by using data science. Let's talk about another fantastic application that you guys definitely have used, I believe, right? So guys, head to the comment section right now and tell me if you have ever watched a movie or a TV show or anything like that on Netflix or Amazon Prime, right? I mean, of course, we all love TV shows. I watch a lot of TV shows myself, so you can probably see everything here on the top row is exactly all the TV shows that I've watched and a lot more. Now at the end of the day, coming to the talk of data science in terms of Netflix uses an amazing recommendation system. A recommendation system is basically an artificial intelligence and data science powered I want to say bot, and this will ensure that it is showing you all the best content possible, which is customized in a way where you would want to watch. It is aligned with your interest. It is exactly what you're searching on Google or something like that, right? Now if you're a person who absolutely loves horror movies, Netflix can start recommending you the best horror movies out there. If you're a person who loves watching comedy TV shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or Friends or something like that, well it can go on to recommend that for you as well. So this kind of a customized feel that you get with Netflix, even though it just seems very simple, as soon as you take a look at it, you might not know why Netflix is so amazing and why a lot of people get hooked to Netflix. You have to understand that there are algorithms, as a lot of data science at work there to make sure that you guys spend a good amount of time on the platform, right? It's not a bad thing, but at the end of the day, it's helping you have a better experience with the platform. Now there's hundreds of movies, in fact I'm going to say there's thousands of movies, there's thousands of TV shows, right? If they were randomly shown to you, you might not be interested, but if they were customized to your preference, your watching preference, as I just mentioned, well, you definitely might click on it, you definitely might watch it as well. So Netflix uses a very, very, very powerful recommendation system, which is completely powered by data science. It's not only just the recommendation system, but it's also the entirety of their platform itself. Amazon Prime also does this similarly, and of course we have multiple different partners out there right now, and Netflix and Amazon Prime might be the big guys in terms of video streaming, but as you might have noticed, there's a lot of streaming applications out there, and most of them go on to use data science in one way or another. And I definitely want to say that all of them use data science in a tiny way or in a huge way, because if they're using an architecture such as this, they're going to require servers, they're going to require storage, they're going to require a lot of things to keep it running, and somewhere there, either in a small part or a large part to play, data science has something fascinating to do, right? Perfect. Okay, let me take a look at some of the questions. Fusefire says, I want to learn DDoS attack. Do not laugh, sir. Well, Fuse, of course, I'll not laugh at your question. You definitely can go on to learn about DDoS attack. This is definitely a question for a cybersecurity specialist. We do have multiple videos on the channel which talk about cybersecurity. I highly suggest you check out that. And of course, we have courses on Great Learning Academy as well. But make sure you stay on the lines of ethical hacking and not cross the line towards potentially having unauthorized access to data, something. Be careful, but yes, DDoS is definitely a fantastic concept to learn, but that is something very far away from data science, right? Okay, Dakshita Thakur has a question. I'm in second year of engineering. Is it possible for me to land a job in data science by the end of my graduation? Well, Dakshita, I hope you're really having fun in this session. Being in the second year of engineering definitely is the prime time for all of you all to get started with all of these concepts. So I highly suggest you guys get started learning. You can use all the material that we have here on Great Learning's YouTube channel and Great Learning Academy as well. And to answer your question, yes, regardless of whatever stream you've picked up in your engineering, I believe that if you just put in the right amount of skills and if you follow a structured path of learning and you use the highest quality of learning material available for you, you definitely can go on to land your job. Make sure you watch through this particular video, because I have very, very important tips that you definitely should take a look at if you're looking for your if you're looking forward to having your first job, right? I hope that answers your question. Himani Saigal says, I've completed graduation, sir. I have 1 year of experience of job, but don't know how to apply for data science. Well, Himani, do you have experience in the domain of data science? What domain is it that you have 1 year of experience in? Make sure to put that down so I can answer your question better, right? Fusefire says, data science is an interdisciplinary field, uses scientific methods, processes, algorithms to extract knowledge and insights. Well, that's a beautiful explanation. Thank you so much, Fusefire. Yes, whatever you've said in the comment section makes absolute sense. Right? Perfect. Okay, perfect, guys. Now that we've checked out some of the comments that you guys are putting in, make sure you guys are putting in more comments right now. While you guys go on to do that, I want to talk to you about a very nice thing about data science that you may or may not know is the fantastic ability that it provides context in a way where not only can you go on to analyze what went wrong in the past, but also data science is powerful enough to give you this kind of an ability where you guys can go on to predict the future as well. How amazing is that? Now it'll seem a little bit daunting for you to think about, hey, how can I predict the future, right? But then think about it. There are so many ways you're already predicting the future, which you may know. Whenever you open your mobile phone, there's a good chance that you may think about what the weather is like tomorrow, what the weather weather is like maybe 1 month from now and all that, right? So in that particular case, whenever you're talking about the thinking about how the weather is like tomorrow, you're literally predicting the future there, right? Of course, you use a lot of data. It's a result of analysis, and it is not just a random guess that you make. But yes, if we are talking about right now, the weather right now, you can go on to say it with a 100% accuracy. But even if you're talking about weather maybe 2-3 hours from now, it can change drastically, right? But with the help of data science, you definitely can check out how things change as well, right? So probably just say, hey Google, hey Siri, or hey Alexa, and just ask what the weather is like tomorrow. All these chatbots will definitely give you the answer of what the weather will be like tomorrow, and it is mostly accurate, right? So there very very simple applications of you guys actually going on to predict the future. But then of course the entire power to talk about what might happen in the future comes through analyzing all the details and all the data in the past as well, right? So this is where again data science has a huge impact, and this is one among the top reasons of why data science is a domain which is just trending and exploding everywhere right now, guys. I'm sure you were aware of this, but yes, this is a very very important thing to know. Now guys, coming to talk about this very important section where we're going to talk about a lot of things, a lot of important things that you guys definitely should know whenever you guys are landing your first job. But then guys, before we go on to begin, let me quickly get a gulp of water, and I want all of you all to head to the comment section and just put down any questions or any comments that you might have about the domain of data science, or any questions about landing your first job as well. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions on that. Okay, perfect. Now while you guys go on to put on your questions, let us actually get started with a step-by-step guide of how you guys can land your first job in data science, right? Coming to step number one should definitely be this part where you guys ask yourself very important questions. The first question states, do you have an educational background in computer science? Now, since data science is a technical domain, it's a huge part of information technology. Even though you may or may not have a degree in computer science or an educational background, it is possible for all of you all to learn data science. But if you have a computer science degree, you might be able to grasp one or two concepts quicker than a person who might be coming in from a non-technical background, because you might be used to the concepts of programming, you might be used to the concepts of how data is handled, and all of that, right? So ask yourself these questions. It's very very important. Take a look at the second question. It states, do programming languages excite you? If the answer to this is no, then you definitely have to be very cautious about moving in the domain of data science. Data science is really huge. You can actually become you can have a role in the domain of data science without a programming language. It is possible, but at the end of the day, you will only create fascinating applications if you love what you're doing. And to go on to have a big impact in the world of data science, it's always important that you guys love programming. You are very good at programming and all of that. So if a programming language excites you, something like Python or R programming language, then this definitely is the first job that you guys have to look at, right? Look at the third question. It says, are you a proactive learner who can learn new tools quickly? See, in a domain like data science, it becomes extremely important for all of you all to start picking up new tools and new techniques which you might have never used in your college, or just coming into your job itself. So it becomes really really important that you have the ability to not only use new tools, but also you have to have the ability to keep learning new tools every single day going ahead, right? Now I'm not saying that every day there will be a new tool for you to learn, but these concepts where things keep changing rapidly in a way where today's brand new thing is tomorrow's obsolete, right? That is how the world of information technology works. So for you to have the capability to learn and understand these new things, this is extremely important there, right? Perfect. Now look at the last question. It says, do you enjoy handling complex data sets to understand patterns? Pattern matching and handling large amounts of data is it's a very very common thing in the domain of data science, regardless of what designation, what role you guys apply for. So having the ability to, like handling large amounts of data, knowing that it's really exciting, and that the insights you gain out of the data is something which will help you, your company, and it will just add a lot more value which you might have not thought that it will, right? So it's a very important thing that you ask all of these questions to yourself. And as I said, regardless of you having a computer science degree or not, you definitely can look towards your first job in data science if you have all the skills that's required to be applying for those jobs. Perfect. Now this is step number 1. When we talk about step number 2, we'll have to talk about a little bit about mathematics and statistics. Now mathematics and statistics are very important to the working of the domain of data science itself. Whenever you take a look at concepts such as machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, and all those concepts work on the foundation of applied mathematics and applied statistics. So when you go to your job, when you go to your interviews, right, after you guys have learned the domain of data science, you go to your first job interview, these concepts of math and statistics are extremely popular in those interviews, where the interviewer can ask you about how something in the concept of machine learning might work. Even though you know how it works programmatically, sometimes you are expected to know how it works mathematically as well, right? Because mathematics is the foundation to how those concepts work. So guys, if this is my advice in step number 2, that if you guys are looking for your first job in data science, make sure you are ready for these questions which will go into the most fundamental concepts of data science itself, like math and statistics. It's very important for you to not only understand math and statistics to learn data science, but also know that as a part of these interviews, these are actually very popular questions, especially in the year this is a trend that started in the year 2019, I believe, and it is just going again and again. The trend I mean is you being asked questions about mathematics, about statistics, especially if you guys are freshers, right? Perfect. Coming to step number 3. Step number 3 talks about very very important concept, a subdomain in data science, which is machine learning, right? So machine learning is a fantastic part of data science which you may already know. But if you guys have had a chance to go on these job search websites like Indeed, LinkedIn, all the other sites that are out there where you can find jobs, most of the time in these data science jobs, especially for freshers, you will see that there is a lot of requirement. If you read the roles and responsibilities there, you will see in 8 out of 10 jobs that machine learning is there. Now, when I say 8 out of 10 jobs, at the start of the session, we saw that there's almost 100,000 job openings for data science in India right now. In that particular case, if there's 100,000 jobs, think about 80,000 jobs which require machine learning, right? Now, in that particular case, it becomes really important for all of you all to learn machine learning, understand the concept, know how to apply it, and also take a look at the tricky questions which might be asked in interviews as well. So, data science has a lot of things, right from data engineering all the way to data visualization, but make sure you're not skimping on any of these concepts. Make sure you're learning them adequately, because at the end of the day, these concepts are what is required in the industry right now. If you see companies using data science, there's a very very good chance they use machine learning, right? For example, all the companies, even the video you're watching right now is powered by machine learning algorithms. Did you know that? YouTube recommends videos to people, again using machine learning based AI based recommendation systems as well. So it is used in hundreds of places. Even though you might not know that there is an AI entity which is sitting, there is an entity there. So it becomes very important for you to understand the working of the domain to know that fact. Now at the end of the day, even a simple Google search that you do, a very simple Google search, maybe if you want to buy shoes or a new necklace or something like that, right? Even when you do a Google search, there is an AI based, a machine learning based bot sitting at the end showing you what the results that you have to see on the screen, right? Well, when it is to that level of usage and application, well, I think it is very important for you to understand that it is a very trending and an exploding part of data science itself. So make sure you guys concentrate on the concepts of machine learning. It's a very popular thing, especially if you attend data science interviews. Machine learning questions for interviews are almost 100% possibility of being asked. So make sure you guys are concentrating on that as well, right? Coming to step number 4. Step number 4 talks about programming languages. Now, it is very important that you guys start your learning into the journey of data science. Maybe in your school and your college, now that you guys are looking for your first job, you might have learned programming languages like C, C++, Java, or any other language as well, right? But for the domain of data science, languages such as Python, languages such as R programming language are extremely popular. But then if there are 2 or 3 programming languages that you think you have to learn to apply for a job, you might be mistaken. First of all, make sure you are learning one programming language and make sure you're giving your 100% concentration to that. You have to master that programming language before moving on to something else. I've always seen these when people are trying to apply for their first job, they're just trying to learn everything possible. Well, it is practically not possible to become an expert in a good amount of time. Of course, maybe if you had a lot of experience of programming in your engineering, or you're taking a break and then looking for your first job while you're learning, it makes sense. But as soon as you graduate, if you have to get your first job, you really require concrete knowledge on any one programming language, and I highly suggest you guys get started with either Python or R programming language. Master that, work on that. In fact, while you're in engineering or any other degree that you might be pursuing, technical, non-technical degree, right? We have many videos here on the Great Learning YouTube channel, and also courses, free courses on Great Learning Academy that you guys can use to learn programming language of your choice, right? So make sure you guys master one programming language, your first programming language. It might be Python, it might be R. Make sure you're working on it. Make sure you have a good amount of expertise in that before you actually jump on to looking towards another language. This is a very common mistake that I've seen a lot of people do. You just start learning 2-3 programming languages at once, thinking that you can learn it quicker and that when you're at the interview you can answer a lot more questions. But I've seen that it does not work that way, right? It is very easy for you to get really confused, and it will hurt your experience in the interview itself. So my advice in step number 4, if you guys are looking for a job, is to make sure you master one programming language. Right? Perfect. Coming to step number 5, I'll pick up some of your questions after step number 5, guys, so keep them coming. Right? Perfect. Now, when we're talking about data handling in step number 5, this is a very important step to land your first job. Is you have to understand that even when you're learning data science, right? Whenever you're learning data science, if you only learn the theoretical concepts, or if you do very simple and easy projects, as soon as you either prepare for your job interview or as soon as you actually get the job, you will be really overwhelmed, because if you're handling real world data, there is a very good chance that there is a large amount of data that's being used there. So it can definitely get overwhelming if you're not prepared for that. So to make sure that doesn't happen after you get the job, or in fact if you're being tested in the interviews for the same as well, understand this: the real world data sets that are used in these companies are huge, absolutely huge. So prepare yourself. Make sure you guys are practicing by picking up big data sets, large data set. It doesn't have to be large or big in the sense. It has to be something, it can be a very complex data set which can pose a lot of problems that a large data set will give you as well. So in that particular case, make sure you guys are working on basically large data sets while practicing itself, while learning itself, so that once you're in the interviews or once you're at your first job, you will not be overwhelmed and it doesn't feel that it is extremely tough or something like that. So prepare. You can go on to take up multiple programming challenges across multiple different websites out there. Just challenge yourself, push yourself, work towards industry level projects, work towards real life projects. If you have checked out the Great Learning YouTube channel, we have multiple real life projects being discussed in our videos, especially in the domain of data science, right? So make sure you guys are watching all of that. Make sure you know what's going on. Make sure you know how to approach large amounts of data and how to provide a solution for the same as well, right? A very important step, guys. So make sure you're paying a lot of attention here. Now let me quickly pick up a couple of questions. Santosh Barkha says, enjoying your session. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, Santosh. Those are kind words. I hope you are subscribed to the Great Learning YouTube channel. Make sure you stick till the end of this particular video, because we still have a lot more important things to discuss here, right? Perfect. Okay, Dakshita Thakkar has a good question. Do IT organizations look for freshers for a data scientist position, or do they require candidates who have minimum years of working experience? Now, to answer this particular question, this is a fantastic question because I wanted to mention this at the start of the session itself. Whenever you take a look at applying for your first job in data science, if you consider that there are 1 lakh job openings right now, 80% of that, almost 80%, that is, let's say somewhere around 80,000 jobs, they are looking forward for either freshers, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years of experience, right? So 8 out of 10 jobs in data science, when they're posted, they usually ask for someone who has less than 4 years of experience. Now, even though you are a fresher, you can apply to jobs which might require 1 or 2 years of experience. That is a very neat little trick. But at the end of the day, if you're applying for a job which requires 1 or 2 years of practical experience, you also have to have the knowledge and skills to make sure that you can do everything that is probably mentioned in the job description, and that you're good at doing it, right? So there again, the chances of you getting paid is higher, the chances of you actually working with more complex thing is higher, but that is the challenge if you look forward to. Well, at the end of the day, it definitely is rewarding. So Dakshita, I hope I answered your question with this particular point, that yes, it is very important that that 8 out of 10 jobs in data science, in the domain of data science, usually ask for freshers or people with less experience, right? So it's an important thing to know. Perfect, guys. Now coming to step number 6. Step number 6 is when you have to have the ability to actually go on to tell stories with your data. Now, what do I mean by this? See, in the domain of data science, things can get really big, things can get really complex very, very quickly. Okay, so sometimes you will have to find ways of how you can either explain, understand, or tell someone else the data or the result or the problem that you're handling in the case of data science. This will also happen in interviews. You might be given a complex concept and told to make it a little simpler, or to actually solve a problem practically or something like that. In those cases, if you're a person who's well versed with visualizations, basically taking in basically taking in data and creating beautiful looking graphs out of them, you can literally tell stories with all the data that you have in your hand. Instead of just saying, hey, this is this, that is that, done, you can actually go on to map a nice way to take them from the problem to the solution. And this fantastic way of you expressing data as an art, as a story, will help you a lot. First of all, they'll know that you're amazing at handling data. 2, they know that you have the ability to understand data and to communicate it to a non-technical audience. 3, it shows that your communication skill of you doing this will also help you as a team player itself, right? See, 3 huge advantages if you can go on to work on visualizations. Let me give you a 4th advantage. If you look towards the domains of business intelligence analysis, which is again a part of data science, you can have a fantastic salary just by knowing good amount about business intelligence tools, and knowing that you can gain a lot of insights, create beautiful looking dashboards, and create fantastic looking graphs using these concepts as well, right? So 4 advantages, right? I told you I'll give you 3, I gave you another bonus advantage as well, right? Perfect, guys. Now to talk about step number 7. Step number 7 is another fantastic step. This is where you guys have to start practically practicing things. It becomes very important that I've seen a lot of people, especially in the domain of data science, especially when you're learning, right? The theory will somewhat seem like it is easy, and it will tend to make you think that you already know this, or that you might know this. This is where a lot of people go wrong actually. Either you're a complete beginner or you're an intermediate learner. Make sure that if you're again learning from scratch or something, make sure you sit through all the basics as well. Because these foundation concepts, right, these are the most important ones, even in the interviews as well, right? If you take a look at interviews, if you've ever gone to a data science interview, there is a very good chance that you might be asked a lot of questions about data structures, right? Now, data structures may or may not have anything directly to do with data science, but it is a foundational concepts which shows the interviewer that how data is handled and how you can work with data, right? So data structures is a very, very important concept. It's, as you can tell, it's a foundational concept, yet at the same time, if you skip it and say, hey, I know how to use it, it's not important for me to learn how it works, when it comes to the interview, when you ask that question, it becomes very difficult to answer, right? So for the interviewer, he or she does not know who you are or what you're good at or anything like that. If you fail to answer basic questions such as data structures or anything in the foundational concepts of data science, it might put a wrong impression saying this person might not have the capability to hold this job, right? So that is a very important thing. I want to make sure that you guys are very clear on this. Make sure, no matter how simple the concepts are, practically working on all of these concepts, especially the foundation concepts. You don't have to find the most complex data science problem and start solving it to get your first job, but make sure you're very good at solving simple concepts, simple problems in a very efficient manner. If you can do that, interviewers will definitely be interested in hiring you for the role. Right? Perfect. Now see how step number 8 just complements everything I just spoke about in step number 7. In step number 8, not only will you be practicing, but you will also be practicing on an industry level scale. If, as I told you, when you get your first job, when you actually land that job, and when you're on the floor working, if you've always worked on really simple data sets, if you've worked on pretty simple stuff, it will become very complex for you, because in a production environment there are multiple complex projects handled by hundreds of people at a time, right? So to get to know what it feels like, you definitely can pick up on multiple industry level projects that are out there. Now we discussed these multiple industry level projects in our specialization programs we have here at Great Learning. I'm going to guide you about that at the end of this video, but at this moment of time, know this: if you work on industry level projects, first of all, you'll gain the very important knowledge required to clear the interviews and also be good at the job once you get the job. The second thing is, once you begin working on the industry level projects, you will get a feel for the domain itself, and you can put all of the things that you have done, all the projects that you have done and problems you have solved on your resume. For a fresher, it is very important to have a very crisp and a compact resume, which will basically tell the interviewer everything he or she needs to know about you, your background, your educational details, your skills and all of that, right? So there it adds huge advantages to mention that you might have done an industry level project and you've solved the required problem there, right? Think about it for a second. That is what will impress an interviewer. Coming to step number 9. Step number 9 talks about how you guys definitely have to be on top of the current trends, right? Data science is a domain which is consistently in the trend charts. You will never find a dip in the chart, or you never find that data science is not trending. It is always trending. It has been for the last couple of years. It has been portrayed that it's going to be the same for the next couple of years as well. So know this: whenever you're working with a huge domain like data science, especially as a person who's looking for their first job, find out, do this task maybe every week or every month or something. Find out what is trending in that particular month, week, year or something. Find the tool in data science that every company is going gaga about. Everyone wants to use it. Everyone is hiring experts to who know how to use the tool. While if they are going to hire experts who know those tools, there's a good chance they'll be paying you a very high salary. 2, if you know that the tool that they're expecting and you actually learn that in a short amount of time, now that you might have a good amount of foundation in data science, as soon as you apply it, you have a really big salary, and there's a good chance that you can become a specialist just because you followed through understanding that there was a trend. And it's called, basically we have a term for it, it's called riding out a trend, knowing that hey, something might go in a positive direction, and you being a part of it just adds a ton of value there, right? Perfect. Now step number 10 is again another very important step. This is where you guys will be building a domain specific resume. If you are confident enough and you are sure enough that hey, data science role is exactly what I want to start my career, why not build your resume to make sure that it is oriented towards data science, right? If you have a resume which you can use to apply to a developer's job, a web developer's job, a game developer's job, a data scientist job, it does not stand out for what's exactly required, right? So for a data scientist role, since it's a trending domain, there is hundreds if not thousands of people who will be applying for the same position that you are applying. So to make sure your profile, your resume gets shortlisted, make sure you're giving some sort of customization, right? So every time you maybe apply for even 2 or 3 data science companies, try to edit your resume to make sure that you are catering to what exactly they are asking for. Now in the next section, I'm going to be actually giving you some quick tips on how you guys can build a really good resume for your first job. But at this moment of time, yes, your resume is the most important part of your profile, and I want all of you all to know that at this moment of time, because you might be a person who has amazing amount of skills. If you cannot put that down in a good way in your resume, or if you cannot match it with the exact requirements of the job, there's a good chance that you might not be able to land your first job. To make sure to avoid that, you have to really work on how to build a good resume, right? Perfect. Now, step number 11 talks about specialization. As I already told in the last couple of steps, data science is really a huge domain, right? If you just start learning everything there is to know about it, it'll take months, if not years. If you're trying to learn things on your own, and if you have an unstructured way of learning, definitely it becomes almost impossible to learn a lot about data science. But my suggestion is, when you're going for your first job, right, you will definitely know which domain will interest you. Is it data analysis? Is it data engineering? Is it business intelligence? Or do you want to become a data scientist, right? So in those things, understanding a lot of it, make sure you're giving your time. Your time is very limited, right? Either you're in college right now, or you've just graduated, or you're about to graduate. So you really don't have the luxury of maybe taking 1 or 2 years to learn something, right? For all the people who are doing your degree and you still have 1 or 2 years to apply for your first job, fantastic. This is the perfect time for you all to get started with learning all of these things separately. But for the people who are on a time crunch, maybe you're in a final year, maybe you're definitely waiting for your first job, or you are an experienced professional who's looking for your first job in data science as well, find 1 or 2 concepts, become a thorough expert of that, and only then move to something else. If you just start learning 10 different things, and even though you might be doing good progress, but learning 10 things can get slow, it can be confusing, there's a lot of different things that can go wrong. So make sure you guys are not taking that risk. Find 1 or 2 concepts that you like working on, become an expert in that, and then move on, right? Perfect. So with all of these things that we just checked out right now, here's a question that you can answer yourself, right? So who is a data scientist is a question you might ask. And now you know, with all of these steps, who a person you can call a data scientist is, right? He or she is definitely need to be a mathematician. He or she should definitely be good at mathematics, because maths is the foundational concepts in many ways of how data science works. Second, he or she should be a trend spotter, right? I already told you, find the latest trends, make sure you're using those trends to help you really get across to landing that first job. And knowing that finding new trends, jumping upon it, riding the trend out can not only lead to you having amazing salaries, but also amazing jobs. You can have a fantastic career. Just the huge difference it can make to know that you have picked up a tool which is trending right now. So that's an important thing. The third thing is, yes, to become a data scientist, you already realize you guys definitely require programming languages like Python or R. So a programmer is a person who is a data scientist as well. Now, at the end of the day, if you're taking a look at why I've put in business manager here, right? Well, these 3 people, mathematicians, trend spotters, and programmer, again, we're talking about the same person who's a data scientist. These 3 skills in the data scientist will help solve the problem, but a business manager's role will make sure that the problem is solved in time, according to whatever the client wants, according to whatever the company sets, right? So if you can solve a problem in maybe 5 days, but the company says, hey, sorry, the client wants this done in 2 days, right? So how do you know that 2 days is enough to solve this? That is where you require this kind of a knowledge, business knowledge of how things work at its most fundamental level. So this is where a business manager's role is also required, right? Perfect. But it is not only a data scientist's role that you guys can apply for in data science. There's multiple roles out there, right? There's literally 15-20 roles, and each of these roles will have designations on their own, and it is a huge domain where the possibilities are endless. But instead of discussing that at length with you guys, and maybe it might get a little confusing for you, I have actually gone on to list the 4 top designations in the case of a data science, right? So these roles are the top ones in the domain of data science. Of course, first of all, we checked out the data scientist role. You already know this. Look at the other 3 as well. Data analyst. You can definitely become a data analyst. Who looks at data, works with it, and gains beautiful insights out of the data. You can definitely work towards becoming a data engineer. A data engineer is very much responsible for all the activities which include data ingestion, creating a data pipeline. You know the term big data? Well, a data engineer is almost looking towards that end of it and handling the data for either a data scientist or a data analyst to analyze, right? That's what a data engineer does. Then when you take a look at a business intelligence analyst, business intelligence is a domain that again is beautifully taking off. Business intelligence is again a domain under data science itself. So if you call yourself a business intelligence analyst, you are still a part of data science domain. So at the end of the day, knowing that, hey, I have so many options that I can choose from, will basically open up your resume, your profile, to thousands and thousands of jobs, and of course hundreds of companies and thousands of roles out there, right? So guys, this is an important thing that I want all of you all to know about. Now, quickly coming on to the section where we'll be discussing about how you guys should concentrate upon writing your first resume. There are many things. We have a complete video on the channel discussing about what you should do when you're prepping your resume, how to have a good resume, how to build a fantastic resume. We have multiple videos on this on the channel. Make sure you check that out. But to focus upon data science and to focus upon your first job and having your resume at hand, my advice is make sure you guys research all the job postings that are there. 3 or 4 companies may ask for the same designation, but once you read the roles and responsibilities and job descriptions, you will find that the tools they use is different, the techniques that's required is different, the skills required is different. So research these jobs, understand what the company wants, make sure you learn all of those things, and then apply for the jobs, because there may be many key skills that are mentioned in a job description which you may or may not have. Something like you must have the complete understanding of machine learning, you might be able to work with convolutional neural networks, you have the capability to analyze large amount of data set and perform exploratory data analysis on it, and you have the capability to create beautiful looking graphs, and you can create dashboards out of your reports and all of that. Well, these are some of the example skills that I just told you that companies will put on their job description. You definitely require knowledge on all of that if you're applying for that company, right? So take a note of all of that, learn that, focus on it. It's an important thing. The next thing that you guys can do is talk to experts in the domain to get their view about the current role, right? People who have the same job, or a subject matter expert like me. I am a subject matter expert in the domain of data science. So you can ask me, any question that you want, and I believe I'll have the capability to give you an answer about the same, right? So that's an important thing. Talk to experts about your resume. Talk to expert about what's happening in the industry. Talk to experts about all the trends. Talk to experts about how you should learn, what you should learn, and I definitely believe that it will help you land your first job really quick, right? And anyway, coming back to the resume part, make sure you guys are keeping your resume as crisp and as clean as possible. And whenever we go on to talk about these resumes, an important part of it is that all of you all will be worried, saying, hey, you know what, I'm a fresher, I don't have any experience, is it okay? It is perfectly alright. Companies know that there's thousands of people graduating every year, so you will come out of college and you might not have any job experience. But in the case of data science, as I already told you, 8 out of 10 jobs ask for people with 0 or less amount of experience, right? That is an advantage for you. The second thing is, when you're in college itself, when you're still still learning and all of that, you definitely can look towards data science internships. Internships are a very good way to get started with the domain itself. And also, when you're writing your resume, right, make sure you guys are mentioning about internships, make sure you guys are talking about all the favorite subjects that you have learned in college. And look at the last point, make sure you guys are talking about the important certifications that you guys might have done, right? Now, as I told you, Great Learning Academy is a fantastic place where you have access to 200 plus free courses. So each of those courses will give you a certificate of completion. So you can actually mention all of those on your resume, right? I already walked you through what it is like, the Great Learning Academy page at the start of this session. It is very important that as a fresher, you can take your resume and make sure that it is not just another resume from, all the thousands of people who are graduating. You want your resume to be special. You want your resume to be so tightly packed with clear information that the interviewer, as soon as he or she sees it, they definitely want to be interested in your profile, right? So that is a really important thing that I want to talk to you at this point of time, right? The next advice, an important piece of advice that I have for all of you all, is make sure you guys research of what is required before putting something down on your resume. There is no point if you guys start telling stories on your resume, right? Your resume is usually one page. As a fresher, it can be one page, and max to max it can be 2 pages. So you really don't have a lot of room to just put in everything that you might want to do. Understand that if you're looking for a data science role, highlight things that are required for the role. Now, you might be an amazing painter, an amazing singer. It is definitely worth mentioning it on your resume, but highlight the things which are required for the job. So once you start targeting these keywords, you will know that as soon as the interviewer looks at your application, he or she will want to be interested for that, right? So showcase your skills in a way that you're telling the interviewer, hey, if you look at this resume, you will know that I am fit for this job. This is important. The next thing is read the job description of whichever job you're applying for, and understand it completely. Once you understand it, use all the knowledge to see if you have everything ticked, right? So they would have asked for all the key skills, tools, and all of that. Make sure you know all of that. If you do, put all of that on your resume, so that as soon as they they go on to check your resume, they will know that, hey, this person has all the skills that we want and all the skills that we posted on the job description, so let's give this person an opportunity to interview, right? So that is how you get filtered, and to make sure that you get through to the next rounds, which will help you land your job as well, right? Guys, the final tip for all of you all, when you're creating your first resume for your first data science job, make sure you guys keep it as clear and as concise as possible. Do not, I repeat, do not put in large sentences or long stories about it. Make sure you're keeping it clear in a way where the interviewer knows that, hey, this person is a data science oriented person, right? Perfect, guys. Now let me quickly pick up a couple of the questions that you guys might have put down. Fuse Fire says, I don't have any degree. Well, that's really okay, Fuse Fire. Big companies these days are not even asking for college degrees in compulsion. Companies like Facebook, companies like Tesla, they want your skills, they want your knowledge, right? So to those companies, again, at the end of the day, certifications don't matter. But where certifications will really help you is to make sure you go from a complete beginner to a thorough expert, right? That is where it's important. Usually they don't recruit freshers from these job portals. They'll recruit directly from campus recruitment. Well, not really. If you have this is where another important point that I mentioned, right? Make sure you're talking to experts in the domain. You can use their references to actually get the job, which might have just been for the people who can get in through campus recruitment, right? So even off campus, if you have contacts, if you know whom to reach out, when to reach out, and especially to the experts or people who already hold the job in that particular company you're looking for, there is nothing that is stopping you from having that job, right? So it's an important thing. Can you name commonly asked mathematics and statistics interview questions asked? Soon my interview will be there. First of all, Santosh, thank you so much for your question. I wish you good luck for your interview. I really hope you clear it. But then if you have a good amount of time, make sure you're using all the material that we have here at Great Learning Academy and the Great Learning YouTube channel to prep for it, right? We completely have a career prep section where you will find a lot of these interview questions. So make sure that you are checking that out. Head to Great Learning Academy and enroll yourself into those programs, right? Perfect. Dakshita says, from where can we find and work on industry level projects? Well, Dakshita, hold on to that question for just 2 minutes from now. I will guide you on how you can work on that, right? You also have another question. I've heard about Flask for web development. Is that also required for data science? Well, web development and data science, even though sometimes they can get related, they're really two different domains. So it is not a compulsion that you have to know Flask in the domain of data science, right? Perfect. Ashish says, I'm not getting certifications even after following up with Great Learning. Well, Ashish, we definitely want to help you out. We definitely want more details about, what's going on with your learning. How is it going and all of that. Make sure, as someone put down in the comment section, write all the queries that you have at academy@greatlearning.in, and we'll make sure that we'll get back to you and answer all of your queries there, right? Okay guys, perfect. Now coming on to a section where we'll quickly discuss about how you guys can go on to learn more about data science. First of all, it's very simple, right? Data science is a really big domain. If you go on to Google and search for data science, you will find millions and millions of results by the time I did that. So it becomes very important for you to know that, hey, do not be overwhelmed. Have a structured path of learning. Know that if you don't have a map, right? If you're in the middle of a forest, you don't have a map, you'll get lost. Similarly, while learning data science, things can get confusing while if you do not know how to go about learning it. So work on a structured learning path. We have multiple videos on the Great Learning YouTube channel talking about how you guys should go about learning data science as well. I have put out multiple content there. We have other subject matter experts who have done the same as well. Make sure you're checking that out. And if you have realized over this session 2 or 3 times, or in fact more times, I keep telling you guys to subscribe to the Great Learning YouTube channel, right? So whenever you guys subscribe and hit that bell icon, you have the opportunity to talk to us, right? So we are experts in the industry. We know what we're talking about. We know the domain, we know the industry, and we know how you should learn so that you can get into the industry as soon as possible, right? So whenever we have these sessions, that's why I urge all of you all to make sure you subscribe, because as soon as you subscribe, you'll be the first person to get a notification as soon as we have sessions like these or whenever we post any videos. So since especially if you guys are people who are looking for your first job, you will know that either you're in college right now or as soon as you graduate, you will not have a lot of time to get that first job, right? So that is where you have to start doing all of these things, right? Talking to experts, understanding, getting a view of the domain. These will really help you in getting that first job. Now you can find free learning content on the Great Learning ecosystem in multiple places. First of all, go to Great Learning Academy, check that out. You have access to 200 plus courses available in multiple different languages. All of these are free courses. You get a free certificate of completion as well. You have a career plus program. You have multiple different things which can add a ton of knowledge to your existing knowledge base. So make sure you guys are checking out Great Learning Academy. And of course, we have the Great Learning YouTube channel, which is again comprehensively put together. We keep putting out videos for all of you all to learn. We put out the highest quality learning material possible, right? So at the end of the time, make sure you know that we ourselves put in a ton of time, effort, research to make sure we bring the best content for all of you. Also make sure that you guys are checking out the channel. And of course, we also have Great Learning blogs which you guys can go on to use in case if you love reading technical blogs, if you love reading blogs about not only data science but any other concept as well, right? All of these, again, reading blogs, watching videos, and even being a part of Great Learning Academy is free. So make sure you guys are doing all of that. Then coming to a point where we have to talk about specialization. See, all the free content that's available will definitely help you get started with the domain and take you to a certain level of expertise. But at the end of the day, if you guys are looking towards going from complete beginners all the way to becoming a thorough expert in the domain, it will only add value for you if you guys check out some of these fascinating programs we have here at Great Learning in terms of specializations and post-graduation, right? So we have multiple post-graduation programs done in collaboration with some of the most fantastic universities out there right now. You can see that we have courses done in collaboration with Texas MECOMS, which is basically a part of University of Texas at Austin. We have Great Lakes, we have PES University, Northwestern University, right? So you have PG programs, MTech programs, MS programs that I highly suggest you guys take a look at. Now let me quickly take a minute of your time to talk to you about one of these programs, right? So let me click, this is basically the greatlearning.in website, guys, and let me just walk you through the number one course for data science and business analytics. This is a PG program out there. This is done in collaboration with the University of Texas at Austin, Texas MECOMS School of Business, and Great Lakes Executive Learning. This is considered to be the number one data science course out there right now because this has a comprehensively put together, a very detailed curriculum which you guys can use to learn, go become a thorough expert there. You get 1:1 personalized mentorship. You have live classes with a micro group of, let's say, 10-15 learners, and you have job opportunities which are shared with 350 plus companies. And we already have 7,000 plus alumni transitions who have got an average salary hike of somewhere around 50% as soon as they completed the program. right? So you'll get a certificate that looks like this. In fact, you get two certificates, one from the University of Texas at Austin and another one from Great Lakes Executive Learning, right? So University of Texas at Austin, in terms of business analytics, is ranked at number 6 in the entire world in 2020, right? So that's an important thing I want all of you all to understand. Now, if you're taking a look at the curriculum, as you can see, it's a very, very, very detailed put together curriculum. If you click on it, in fact, you can find out all the quizzes you'll be working on, the project you'll be working on, and you can find everything you learn in that module as well. So instead of me walking you through all of these directly, make sure you guys just click the download brochure here. It will give you one entire brochure for one particular program. You'll have all the details you will ever need there, right? Perfect. And the advantage here is once you finish learning of all of these, right, so this will go on for a couple of months of learning, and once you go on to finish it, you will get a chance to work on a capstone project. In fact, you'll be working on multiple different projects, but a capstone project is an industry level project which will be guided real time by the industry level experts. You get career assistance, help in resume building, mock interviews, 1:1 mentorship, career fairs, and so much more, right? I can talk about the advantages going on, but hey, these are some of the projects which will help you land that first job, especially important for that, right? Because if you're working on really simple use cases and as soon as you go to an interview and you're asked something really complex, it can get a little tough there. So, but at the end of the day, if you've already worked on complex projects such as this, real life projects in, you can see multiple domains, right? Retail domain, entrepreneurship domain, automobile domain, healthcare domain, e-commerce domain, automobile. You can see that we have 1,000+ projects have been completed in 22+ domains, and we already have 3 papers published at IIMB, right? So you can find out all the project list, all the details of it. And if I have to talk about the faculty, these guys are some of the top faculty. These guys are leading academicians in the field of data science. You have several experienced people teaching you, right? So these guys completely know what everything about data science there is, and they will be completely guiding you and taking you from being a beginner all the way to becoming an expert. And of course, our mentors are some of the best in the world as well. We have really knowledgeable guys, and these guys are some of the most important people. Mentors are really important for your learning, and we believe that here at Great Learning, and that's why we make sure you guys get amazing access to these mentors as well, right? You can keep scrolling, you can find a lot about it. Our diversity hiring, learner achievements, featured projects, conferences, reviews, so many different things, guys. But since this is a program that's completely meant to take you to become towards your expertise and to have a postgraduate certificate from Texas McCombs and Great Lakes as well, this is an 11-month program which is personalized to make sure you guys get online mentorship sessions. You get 225+ hours of learning content, dedicated career supports, 1:1 mentorship, so many different advantages. 17 real world industry level projects which are guided by the experts themselves, right? And of course, other advantages as well. There is an application process for all of you all to get into this particular program. So to get more details about it, make sure you guys click the link that's been put in the chat section right now, or you can head to the Great Learning website and check out our PG program in data science and business analytics as well. You can find a lot of FAQs, as in frequently asked questions, and at the same time, guys, if you have any more questions, you can definitely put down your name, your email address, mobile number, and your work experience, and we will make sure that there is someone in our expert team who will give you a call in the next 4 hours to make sure that you can ask them any question that you want to ask about data science. You can ask them questions about what course is right for you. You can ask them about which career path is right for you. So any questions you will have about your career, your first job, or how these programs will help you in landing that first job in the domain of data science as well, you can just put down your name, email, mobile number, and we will make sure that our experts will help you thoroughly on that, right? Perfect, guys. On that note, we have come to the end of this session. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys had a lot to learn in this particular session. There are so many things that we discuss, right from understanding what data science is, a step-by-step guide of how you guys should work on your first job. We also spoke about how to make sure you guys have a really concise and a clear resume and aligning it towards data science, and we also spoke about specializations in data science. So I hope all of you all are clear with everything we discussed on this live session. Make sure you subscribe to the Great Learning YouTube channel for more of these live sessions and to be notified of the same. And of course, guys, at the same time, make sure you're checking out Great Learning Academy as well. Now, thank you so much, guys. for tuning in. In fact, there is one person who's asking me a question. Let me quickly answer this so that we can go on to wind up the question, right? So let me just see if I do have any unanswered questions here. Dakshita says, will we get a certificate for attending this live session? Well, Dakshita, since this is a live session, you will not get a certificate for this, but make sure you're enrolling yourself into the courses at Great Learning Academy. That is where you can find courses as well. Sneha says, you can't answer me, sir. Well, Sneha, I actually don't see your question anywhere to go on to give you an answer. So if I saw your question, I definitely would answer. I'm really sorry. I just don't see your question in the session, right? Dakshita says, will this video be made private after the live ends? Well, Dakshita, no, this will be available on the YouTube channel. You can definitely watch it again. Right, guys, with this we'll conclude today's session. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are staying safe from the ongoing pandemic. Wear your masks, maintain social distancing, and everything that is required, since we're learning from home and we're working from home. Make sure you guys are upskilling yourself right now. Now's the best opportunity to get into the domain of data science, and I believe that every one of you all can become experts in this domain if you work towards it in a structured way. Right, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. My name is Anirudh. Cheers, guys. Have a fantastic